Hi everyone. Working smarter, not harder, to achieve even greater success is one of the first steps you're going to have to learn to develop a laptop lifestyle, which then will enable you to create a life you don't need a vacation from, much like I have. I've been down here for 2 months in St. Croix, beautiful Caribbean, and people have asked me if I've been down here on vacation. No, I'm down here working, and I'm working here smarter, not harder. And the reason I can work smarter and not harder is because I have systems in place. Systems when people fail. Warren Buffett has said that. Warren Buffett is a very well-known businessman and investor. And he's quoted for saying multiple things, but I'm going to give you two right here. The first one is he talks about systems win and people fail. He also talks about if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will be working every day for the rest of your life. So you need to develop some type of online program or duplication. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. But that's part of having a system. A system, and also Michael Gerber, E-Myth Revisited, great book. If you haven't read that book, please check it out. Michael Gerber, E-Myths. In there, he talks about franchises at great length. He talks about how franchises have gone on to be much more successful than the average business, because the average business will fail after 3 to 5 years, a very high statistic rate. It's like 80%, I believe, after 3 years, and of that 20% that continue another 3 years or so after that, 80% of them will fail. That's because most businesses are small businesses, mom and pop shops. They don't have systems in place. They don't have the ability to use duplication. But I'm here to tell you they do have the ability to use duplication, and they do have the ability to have systems in place. But the first thing and most important thing is they have to know that these things exist, okay? So an example of having a system in place is a sales funnel. A sales funnel is something very simple. You have an AMD, which is an attraction marketing device. It's something that somebody is interested in. They click on it. It takes them to a squeeze or an opt-in page. Then they insert their information. From there, they get the information as a follow-up. That's part 3. Part 4 is a couple of days later. They get another email. Did you read that? If not, here it is. How else can we help you? Step 5 would be 7 days later, another email. That's a type of a system. Another type of a system is like what I do with my clients. If I have a client come in and on a very basic level, they want us to we do all sorts of internet marketing, but oftentimes I find that people's biggest problems are their websites, at least at the beginning. They're not optimized on page for SEO, and certainly they're off page SEO, but if their on page SEO isn't optimized, no matter what they're doing on the web, it's not going to help them. So we have a system in place that we do what's called a website analysis, and then we do the on-page SEO based upon that. And then there are other steps, step 1, step 2, step 3. When we have a client come in, we have a questionnaire we send them. That questionnaire gives us all the information we need. We have their logo, do they have a website, if they do, what do they like about it, what don't they like about it, if they don't, what other websites do they like. So we have a system, and the system goes with questionnaires and follow-ups and different things like this. So these are examples of systems, but also duplication. And duplication is very important. If you're the one doing the work, you can't be the one bringing in the business. And you can bring in the business, but you can only bring in the business when you're not doing the work. So in order for you to work on your business instead of being in your business, you need to bring in other people. And this is a big thing that Michael Gerber also talks about in his book, E-Myth Revisited. He goes into great detail about that too. So I encourage you to read that book. You can get it free at the library and on CD, so you can listen to it in your car as well. But learn about duplication. I know people have told me I can't afford to hire somebody. I tell people no more MWAs. And by that I mean minimum wage activities. Anything in your business that you do right now that you could sub out for $8 to $10 to $15 an hour, you need to do that. And if you think you can't afford to do that, let me give you an example. I had a client who has a $5,000 coaching package, and she was headstrong that she wanted to do this, and this. She couldn't afford anybody else. But when I explained to her how much that was costing her, she could spend maybe $200 or $300 a month to have somebody doing these things, and that would free her up for 30 hours a month. And then we broke down, it takes her 3 hours to speak with each client, and she has a close rate, So we went with 10 and all that, and we broke it down to just 2 clients for 30 hours. And it would probably have been higher given her close rate and everything that she told me, using her information as accurate. So by her giving up 30 hours a month, focusing on doing the minimum wage activities that she should be delegating, it prevented her from speaking with potential clients or following up with potential clients, and she would have lost 2 $5,000 packages. So to save $500 or $300 or even $1,000 a month, she lost a minimum of $10,000 a month. So when we talk about duplication means you bring in other people to do some of the work that you do. Another example of duplication is, like, I do SEO work. We do SEO, we do internet marketing, we do email marketing, we do all social media marketing, but I certainly can't do it all myself. But I have developed a system, and I give my system, it's proprietary, and I give my system, that's why I give 100% money back guarantee to people who hire us, because I know what I'm going to provide them with. So I give that system to my employees. They send back to me before they submit anything, and then I edit it. I go through it and make sure it follows my system, and then I send it back to them. Now what this does is it takes me like 2 or 3 hours to do that, to edit it per client per month, but that is less than the 25 or 30 hours that I would spend if I had to create the whole thing. So if I have 10 clients, that's 300 hours a month that I'm saving, correct? And that's 300 hours a month, even if it's unrealistic, but even if it's 5 hours a day that I'm saving, that's 5 hours a day that I can be out prospecting or talking to new customers or clients. Or let's face it, that's 5 hours a day I could just be lying on a beach somewhere if I wanted to. And because of my systems and because of my duplications that are in place, my business still functions. My customers and clients get their needs met. My business grows. So if you want to have even greater success in life, you really need to work smarter, not harder. You can't do all the work yourself, because if you're in your business, you can't work on your business. And that's big in Michael Gerber's book, like I said. So if you're not sure about that, or you want to learn how to develop systems to get outside of your business so you can work on your business opposed to being in your business all the time, contact me at Ron at rcstechnologysolutions.com, or call me 978-606-5432. I'm available all the time, even if I'm sitting on the beach. That number I just gave you is my cell phone number, and that's the number I'm filming this on. So if you want to create a life that you don't need a vacation from, you need to first create a laptop lifestyle. And in order to create a laptop lifestyle, you're going to need to understand that you need to work smarter, not harder. People who told people years ago you got to work harder, that's just not necessarily true. If you work 60 hours a month, you're going to get paid for 60 hours a month. If you can duplicate yourself twice, so you have 2 employees doing what you would do, doing the criteria you laid out, and they're doing 40 hours a week, now, and you do 40 hours a week, that's 120 hours a week now, and you've only worked 40 hours a week. So if you're unsure about any of this, give me a call. We can do a free 15-minute assessment, talk about your half-hour assessment, whatever it takes, see if it's a fit, or we can refer you out to somebody else that might better suit your needs. Again, my name is Ron Kooming, rcstechnologysolutions.com.